Hi, Dave here, and today we're going to do part 3 of this painting. This kind of it's a mech that's actually supposed to be an Ava, or it was inspired by an Ava. But it actually looks more like a kaiju in a way, or at least the face. It looks kind of it looks robust and kind of too strong to be an Ava. Oof. Because the Avas are a bit more slender, more pretty, but this one has a bit more in it. Like, it has more information, not too much, but it's not as smooth, right? I feel so. It's a bit like a dinosaur in a way, and reptilian-esque. But hopefully it does look kind of like an Ava, because I mean, hopefully it also doesn't look like an Ava at the same time, right? Because I do want it to be a bit different. So this is kind of the last session of this painting. And I think in the last, in part 2, I said that I would just focus on the face instead and just kind of refine things and shit. Maybe I should kind of zoom in on the face, maybe work on the gun a bit, just a bit, and we're going to limit. I'm actually kind of okay with the idea of spending just an hour a day working on a painting, and maybe it's good to have like just 3 parts to work on a painting, so that's about 3 hours of work. You could go like for more, but that's going to take like a week for me. If I do like 5 days, it's kind of like too long. It's quite possible, you know, if you want to practice and shit, and if you're kind of really invested in your idea, it's not a bad thing to take your time, right? But for me, I think 3 hours max over a span of like 3 days is okay enough for me. So, yes. And I did kind of intend for this art with me series. I actually did split it to individual playlists, but I kind of do all of them together. The speed paint with me, the paint with me, the study with me, and the design with me series. I kind of do them all kind of together. And I did kind of intend for them to be cohesive. Like, I wanted the paint with me to be my opportunity to be able to work on a design and kind of illustrated and kind of like that. And I wanted to create the kind of connection between all of these episodes, but I don't know, because I've been reflecting a lot, or looking at my work, or reflecting on, yes, my work, and because just by doing, you'll actually get some feedback, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I need to develop my skills more, but I'm also kind of like, I'm always being pulled into different directions in terms of, should I work on my skills more, or should I just kind of go in deep and just kind of be more ballsy, right? Because I do also believe that you shouldn't wait to be ready, but I also know that I need to develop my skills, so I'm still trying to figure out that right kind of balance for me. Because a part of me, I don't have like a clear picture of what exactly I want to be doing. I do know it's obviously art related. I mean, I've pretty much figured that out. Yeah, but these actual specifics, I'm kind of not there. I do know that I want to have my own story, like my own kind of IP in a way, or my own creation, right? I want to create my own original world, right? And because I feel like that can create so much opportunities for me, right? I could maybe make an art book in the future. I could sell my prints, because I do want to work on my illustration skills as well. So one day I can like make some high quality prints. I'm not sure what my quality or what my style would be in that stage, but I'm open to that. But to be able to make that in the first place, I want to have like an original kind of idea or world to build, or to base off my to kind of base my other work on, right? So yeah, I also like to, I feel like I want to tell stories at the same time, right? Again, I don't know what the specifics are, but yeah. And I guess I'm still in that stage where I don't really, I'm kind of, fuck, what do I do? And there's always that uncomfortable feeling you get when you don't know what to do. Or uncertainty is not a good feeling, but it's just reality, I guess. And you're going to have to experience it one way or another, so fuck it, and again, I think I should just remind myself of the motto of I guess this channel, or one of the mottos, I guess, is to just figure it out as you go, and you don't have to know everything right now. Just start somewhere, right? For example, even for my Patreon, I have this playlist on YouTube where I do videos, and I just kind of figure out how do I study human anatomy. And I guess I'm kind of working on my Patreon in that way by not actually working on my Patreon. Because I do know I need to have at least a membership, right? But I don't know what to or how to kind of approach it. So I guess I'm kind of starting without being fully ready. So that's kind of a good thing, I guess. And I'm also glad that I kind of but I kind of let go of that deep need to be like, because I wanted to like do films and shit, work in like films, because that was the only thing I knew. Like I wasn't exposed to the idea that I could kind of do my own thing. And just maybe because of 2020 and just with the way the world is kind of heading, and also my own kind of growth, I guess, I feel like I'm trying to go for the more independent route where I work on my own shit, right? Instead of just always freelancing. And I did have that idea in mind to not just freelance forever, because in a way that's just being tied up again, and I don't like that kind of feeling. I want to be able to be free in some way, right? And not be so kind of chained up, because I feel like if I work for like a studio or something like that, I'm kind of not just, I'm done with that. So yeah. So I don't know what to do exactly, but I feel like I'm getting there. But again, it's just, if you're kind of feeling the same thing where you're just, you kind of know where you're going in a way, but you also don't know where you're going, because like the path is not clear. You just have a direction, right? And you're kind of walking through some kind of forest. I mean, you know where north is perhaps, but you're just kind of walking about this kind of misty, dark forest, and you're kind of scared, and you're starting to hear like sounds and shit, and you just kind of feel tense and shit. So yeah. And I think a lot of this can be solved by just knowing what you want, and by being clear with yourself and being honest with yourself, right? I kind of reflected just minutes ago before I started this episode, that I knew I wanted to tell stories, right? But I also knew I wanted to like fulfill my lifelong dream of painting chicks. Or I've always wanted to like tell stories. Well, see, I'm kind of combining things sometimes, because sometimes things combine in terms of like what you want, and they kind of mix up. I mean, I've always wanted to do like characters, but I've always kind of skipped it because I was kind of too afraid, and like I want to do so many things, and one of the most original or first things that I've wanted to do is just to paint chicks, right? And I'll be honest, right? And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. And I feel like I also like drawing mechs and shit. I mean, look at this. This is pretty fucking cool, right? But there's always a part of me that wants to put a chick in it, and maybe she's kind of sitting down somewhere, right? And I feel like I've been skipping that and neglecting that side of me. Because obviously I don't want to just paint like characters. I want to like paint, mechs, creatures, and also environments. Like I want to create stuff, right? And I feel like I need to just be honest with myself, and maybe that's why I started the whole focus on human anatomy in my kind of membership thingy. Because I wanted to find a way to make that work. And again, I still don't know how to make that work. To kind of study human anatomy and just learn how to draw characters and paint characters. I actually did doodle this morning, just some random shit. And I was actually very, very direct. I used a simple round brush that had some kind of shape dynamics, that had like a fine point to it. And I was able to paint something. It wasn't perfect, but I felt like it's better if I just really go in even more, because I feel like I'm already kind of being direct. But I think I can push myself even further. And today I actually did an art review of Nivan Chanthara. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. He's French. He's based in Canada. And I love his work. His work is it has a bit of everything. It has like nice design. It has some storytelling in it. It's not very like a full-fledged kind of narrative art, but he adds some kind of story to his characters. And it does actually make it more human and kind of cute in a way. Even if his designs are kind of very warlike and kind of aggressive looking. And in design-wise, I also like the forms that he uses. It's a bit too like for me, I would add a bit more feminine. I would add a bit of a more feminine touch, because it feels a bit too masculine. Right? I want to add some curves and shit just to kind of soften things up a bit. But yeah, I kind of want to be able to do what he does in a way, like, because he has like he basically has his own thing, right? And is not like he has his own kind of creation, and people know him for that thing. If you've seen his work, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've probably seen his work before, and it's just so iconic, right? And I want to have the same thing, where if people see the artwork, they'll know that I did it, or they can use me to kind of explain things. For example, the same way I kind of use other artists, or I use the name of artists to kind of describe a certain way of doing things. For example, if you're using a flat brush, sometimes I say Feng Zhu, just because he uses a horizontal flat brush a lot of the time. Or when it comes to using the round brush, I always go for, if not Anthony Jones, I go for John Wallenberto or Li Xingyan or Li Xingyan. Hopefully I'm saying it right. And yeah, so I think I need to reflect more with. It's also a process, because things change, the same way I used to like want to be featured in films, in the credit section. I mean, I'm sure we've all had that kind of a desire, but I think I'm being more mature now, I guess, where I'm kind of just focusing on myself, right? And I'm actually kind of happy with that kind of direction that I'm going for. I still don't know what to I keep saying that because it's true, I don't really know. I'm uncertain of my path, and that's okay. Shit. Right. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you're going to still see me talk about me figuring things out, because I don't really have things figured out. And it's different for people. Sometimes there are folks out there that know what they want, and not only do they know what they want, they know the path, or sometimes people are just lucky, and you don't really want to focus on those types of people, because they're not going to be relatable anyway. Like they're not going to be able to teach you shit as much in terms of like the art of figuring things out, like the art of not knowing and shit. Yes. Maybe it's a bit too maybe the highlights are a bit too much. You notice how I'm zoomed in now, and that's okay because we're kind of in the part 3 stage, and everything else is kind of there already, and we don't really need to. And I also want to be careful because I could like push it even further to a more kind of like, if I zoom in, it would still be super refined. But is that what I want? I mean, I do know I have like a patience problem, right? Like I don't want to spend too much time on something. And it's not so much I don't want to spend too much time on something, I just want to make more stuff or do more stuff, right? And that's not a bad thing, by the way. Why is this yellow? This area, it's kind of like brownish. It's fine, but it needs to be more blue, I guess, just to kind of vary things up a bit. And you know what? I do like this. I'm starting to like this series quite a bit. This Paint With Me, because it's super chill. I'm not pressured to finish things in the R. I mean, I have like a time limit, obviously, but like for the whole painting, I can kind of take it step by step, and I'm kind of leaving like a day to work on it, like days sometimes, and yeah, I don't have to finish it within the day. That's the point, right? And it feels kind of relieving. And to me, it's actually a bit more realistic, because let's say you're freelancing and you have like a side gig, right? So it makes sense to kind of work on this thing on the side. So it's kind of like practice. I do think it's also good to have a time limit, so you'll know how to or what to kind of change. Because hopefully in the next video, because I actually do have like day 1 and day 2 which weren't recorded. I did not spend an hour, I think, on these two. Or I don't really know how much time I spent on these, but I started recording on day 3. And then I did time it to like an hour and a half or something. I don't know. I think an hour was my kind of time there. My time there. Anyway, I'm not sure what I was talking about. Yeah, just I don't think it's I don't have. I mean, I'll try to make things consistent in terms of like everything that I do, especially for the Art With Me stuff where you see me do stuff. For example, with the Paint With Me, I do know I'm going to avoid people in general because I don't really feel like I'm ready, right? But then again, I keep saying that you don't have to be ready to be like, you'll never be ready anyway. So I don't know, should I just jump in? I don't know. I think if you're familiar with what's happening to me right now, it's called analysis paralysis, right? If I don't do something, it's going to become analysis paralysis, but I am doing something right now, I guess, just continuing the work. And I do like the dashy kind of thing. You can see me do it now. It's kind of like a pencil-like stroke. It feels more natural, and it does create that awesome kind of look, I think. Make it darker here. Not sure what that is, but we can extend it further just a bit. Um, so yeah, it's still kind of in my head, that uncertainty, and it's kind of, it's driving me insane, bro. Uh, because sometimes I want to focus on the story. Like by story, I also mean world building. Like I want to develop the world, and I do feel like I can make time for that in the Design with Me series, right? But I also feel like I should work on my skills at the same time. So why not just do both? It doesn't have to be an either or, by the way. Maybe that's why I tend to become stressed, because maybe I'm thinking in black and white sometimes. And it's very common nowadays to, because if you kind of, sometimes you're too into the moment that you kind of forget you have like more than two choices. And that's usually the technique to kind of make people do something they wouldn't normally want to do. Put them in such a mode of like despair, or make them so emotional that they kind of forget what they stand for, right? And it happens in everything nowadays, especially, but it also happens in a smaller scale in terms of like you, right? And maybe I'm just too into the thing and I'm kind of pressuring myself too much, and that's kind of tensing me out or stressing me out, sorry, right? Oh, this one feels kind of boring. Like the shapes are, I'm not going to change the shapes anymore as much, but I do feel a bit of brush or hue variety may help. Maybe this lacks a bit of blue. Oh yeah, it lacks some, yeah, just a bit of, whenever something feels boring, just try to bring some colors from other areas into it, right? It just makes it look less like shit. No offense, bro. Why did I add the shape? Anyway, so yeah. Okay, it's a bit more refined. Let me just focus on the, let me just fix this just a bit because it's a bit too ill. Anyway. Yeah. So, because I want to paint, like, I want to be able to, like, paint something in the Paint With Me series that's already kind of part of my world, but I can't do that if I don't have, like, a design yet, if I don't have, like, any idea for what the world ought to be, and the design part is going to take some time. And so maybe I'll just spend my time painting, because I want to still paint while I do the design stuff. And I do think it was a good idea for me to split things. I have like a Paint With Me series where it's more long term, or not long term, but it's more of a longer fashion kind of thing, where I can spend some time on the painting and not rush things. I also have a speed Paint With Me where I can maybe rush things a bit. I did intend it in the beginning to be more for me to develop like mood paintings and do more storytelling, narrative types. But I think I'll just focus on painting something, but in like 30 minutes. I started out painting in 1 hour, but I feel like 30 minutes is more of a speed painting than a 1 hour painting. I mean, a 1 hour painting is actually pretty fast already, but 30 minutes is obviously faster. No shit. Right? So, and it's more fun. And also it helps me because I don't have to spend too much time, and I can be more refined with how I paint and be more specific and be more choosy with how I approach a painting instead of putting so many kinds of brushstrokes in it. Maybe having that smaller time limit will help me be more efficient with my process and just my time, right? Let me just bring some blues here. Define this area of the eye just a bit more. And do like this part, right? This doesn't have to be like pink, right? Because the eyes are more pink. I want the top part to have some black, so it's kind of embedded inside something, the eye, right? I noticed we're actually very zoomed in, and that's okay because we're at the finishing stages where we just kind of go in and just, push things a little bit more, right? Bring some colors in because it's a bit too pinkish, bluish, purplish. So some greens and shit, I think, may kind of help break that down a bit. Right? It just adds a bit more, and you want to be able to find the right value. And you can tell just by looking at it if it's kind of becoming too bright. So just trust your eye and learn to trust your eye. And obviously it helps to like study the works of other artists, and maybe that the whole art review series was a good idea for me personally, because I have the opportunity to kind of study artists and see how they do things, and you can kind of see bits of their technique just by watching or just by observing their artwork. You don't have to watch a video of them paint, but hopefully, of course, they'll post like at least one like high quality or high resolution photo. Because if it's like too small, for example, when looking at Feng Zhu's work online, he doesn't have like a lot of big images, so it's kind of hard sometimes to see the strokes. There are only like a handful of like images that are kind of high quality enough, like they're good enough for me to be able to study them and actually take away something. But I mean, I'm not saying that you need a high quality photo all the time, but or high quality image or a big resolution kind of image. But it does help because you can see like the strokes, like how they simplified certain things and shit like that. Anyway, what's my point? I feel like this top part became too smooth, and I want to make it more kind of robust, right? More strong. Just I want to add some of this over here, but not too much. So this is what I'll do. I'll just make a bit of a dent here. Just a quick one. I do know I should avoid doing this, especially at the end, but it's not that bad, right? So we'll bring in some greens, I guess, here. You see how the pink or the purple that I put in, or the pink, was kind of too light, so I had to change that a bit. Maybe some purple here or some cyan-ish. I do want to show that it's I want to make it kind of sharp, not too smooth. Some kind of sharp corner. Maybe some green here. I don't know what's that for, but was that a good idea? Probably not. Yeah, I should probably remove that and just make it more like that. I mean, it's fine. Right, to just kind of break it down a bit, and maybe it's too clean of an edge, and I don't like it. And like it's becoming too smooth, almost like a xenomorph head. And we wanna show that this guy has been, fighting, right? So he's not going to be like super smooth, He's got some scars, And that's another, it's also stuff like these that help with the storytelling, right? Sometimes people won't notice it, but I think it really helps the artist, especially. Or maybe it does help people, but it only really affects them subconsciously, I guess. Unless someone is actually trying to study the film, or is a bit more like film savvy or story savvy, like they can kind of see certain narratives and shit. Anyway. Oh shit, I want to show that it's a bit thick. Maybe you can see the top part a bit, I don't know. Maybe we'll make some greens here. Greens. Or add some greens, excusez-moi. Excusez-moi, monsieur. Mademoiselle. Oh. Right. Oh shit, I was supposed to work on the fucking eye. What am I doing? What am I doing, bro? Just a prank, bro. Let me create this kind of rounded kind of thing that kind of surrounds the eye, right? Maybe some lighting in the bottom coming from the eye. Not too much, but just to show that it's kind of emitting some kind of light, I guess. Right? In the kind of surrounding areas. Make this darker to really show that edge. Now you probably won't be able to see this as much, but you know, I think it helps. Right? Maybe it lacked some cyan, or maybe this top part needs more blues, perhaps. Nice, right? And I'm using a simple round brush that has a bit of texture in it. And I'm really hoping that in this 2021 will be the year for my channel, because I did start this. I really started focusing on YouTube like last year, a few months ago. Specifically with this channel, because I had like another channel, and I was primarily focusing on I was primarily kind of selling or trying to sell my brushes, but I kind of felt bad because there was something wrong in that I knew that I wanted to also work on my art, and I felt like I wasn't working on my art in that fashion. So I started a new channel and I wanted to do initially kind of concept art, but now I'm focusing on just art. I mean, what I'm doing is kind of concept art, but it's a bit of everything. Where you're doing a bit of like storyboarding, some design stuff, some illustrations. So I kind of want to be the full package. Ooh. And I essentially want to be like a one-man studio. I mean, that would be fucking awesome. You don't own me, right? So you're because I feel like the best person is that can really understand you is obviously you, right? So if you have like a story to tell, sometimes it won't feel good to like sometimes someone helping you won't always be the right thing. You know, like sometimes you're the only one who can really kind of express your idea. So you want to have the skills and stuff like that to be able to express your vision, right? And I'm also combining that with my, you know, like creating a business out of that. And it's a bit more holistic, I guess, which I think is the route which most people aren't used to yet. Even I'm not used to it, or I guess it's because it's not taught in public school or private schools even, or school in general, just because it's not exactly normal, right? You're always taught to go for the quote-unquote secure jobs, be a doctor, be an engineer, be a lawyer, and whatever, right? Like maybe there was a time where that was a bit more realistic, right? But this is like 2021. You know, as much as things are going to shit, maybe in the future we'll all be living in camps in big cities with our tag numbers and shit in a dystopia where everything is happy and safe. But right now it's not that, alright? So we can still, I believe, decide our future, right? And I do like when people give the advice that you work on yourself primarily. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And succeed or win in your own life. Try to find a way to make your dream come true, right? Because when the opposition comes, they'll come, right? And you know what I mean by opposition, you know? So yeah, just focus on your thing, and yeah. And be more ballsy. And whenever I give this advice, sometimes I'm giving it to me, or I am giving it to me primarily. So, and if you start doing your own videos, you'll kind of become, I feel you will become more, shit, why do I keep stuttering? I think you will become more reflective because you just keep talking to yourself, and I think that's a good thing. Look at how it's a bit more refined, right? So sexy. I'm sexy and I know it. We can develop the teeth more, make him pretty, you know, give him a nice smile. Put some gums in. Separate the teeth first, right? Ani-chan. I could focus again on everything else, but again, what's the focal point here, right? It's this area, bitch. So this should be the area that we should work on the most. And we can leave the rest. For example, the background is already pretty fucking vague, right? Very kind of abstract, right? And as you kind of going closer to the main area of focus, it becomes more detailed, and then there you go, right? And again, it's kind of, it's up to you how much you want to detail your shit. Just be careful, because you can, here's the thing, you'll get better at what you keep doing, and if you keep doing like high definition stuff, but that's actually not what you want to do, you're going to kind of dig your own grave. So just be careful. For me, I do want to be more impressionistic, but I feel like a part of me should learn how to define things a bit more, like in a way that I'm doing right now. You know, it's not really super defined, but it's a bit more concrete. Think of the work of John Wallenberto. If you like see his layering shit, I do like that kind of build up. I'm kind of doing the same thing, although he does sometimes bring it to an even more finished level. I kind of want to stop just before that, like a few 50 layers. Because I feel like it's a bit too much for me. Yeah. And hopefully just by watching this episode and watching part 1, part 2, part 3, you don't have to watch the whole video, but if you want to like skip it, that's cool, but hopefully it helps you realize that you can take your time when you're painting. You know, you don't have to be like a speed painting god or goddess, right? Relax. Try taking the chill approach, like what I'm doing with this series, the art with me or the paint with me series. I'm just working at this painting or with this painting for just an hour, and I kind of sometimes leave a day or sometimes to work on something else. Or like I don't rush the painting, you know, and that also helps me see mistakes. Like I think I did this. I changed the chest a bit. Like it was so obvious. Maybe there are, if I kind of prolong this painting, I'll be able to see more stuff. But I think I need to stop, right? Wow, look at that. I think adding more smaller strokes helps it make it to look more defined, right? By the time I reach kind of the 1 pixel, it's hard to see the brush. Maybe if I remove the texture, it's going to be a bit more visible, but I think 2 pixels is okay. Well, it doesn't exactly mean pixel, but well, maybe. Oh, it's a bit too light. Let's do that. Oh shit. So yeah. So we've been painting for like 39 minutes. Oh, 40 minutes now. So we have like 20 minutes left, and I feel like we're doing a good job here. Why am I working on this? Because I want to. You don't own me. Am I right or am I right? Anyway. Look at this. Oh, I think it needs more purple shit. There you go. That's a good girl. Ani-chan. And yeah, I had the point. Take your time. Oh yeah, take your time. And yeah. I'm still bothered by the fact that, you know, maybe I'm just overthinking things, and maybe I should just kind of jump in, right? And if there's something I could say, it's just to go after what you want, and to like you have to. There's so many things that go with achieving your goals, but one of the biggest things is to kind of want it, like bad. Like it's almost like you need to be kind of obsessed or addicted to it. Now maybe these are not helpful terms for someone who's actually experiencing some kind of weird addiction, like a super. Because I feel like a bit of an addiction, you can't really avoid it. We all have our demons. For me, it's coffee, or I have like other demons, by the way. But yeah, the point is, okay, I got distracted. Jesus Christ, Dave. Oh my god. I'm so horny. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I feel like this is too light. Oh yeah, you have to want it bad. You have to be a bit obsessed and you have to be kind of crazy, you know? Because if you're kind of just approaching like, let's say, art as that, oh, it's just a hobby, well then you're not going to achieve shit, you know? Oh, it's just something I do on the side. Okay, well then your achievements will be on the side as well, you fucking bitch. Ooh, you're so mean, bro. Okay, enough, Dave. Well, hopefully you get what I'm trying to say. Like, you need to make it a priority, right? And you need to want it. Like, you need it to survive. It's almost like an impulse, right? Like an addiction. Again, be careful with the term. Don't take it seriously. If you have like a problem, talk to someone or figure your shit out before doing something crazy. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Fuck. Sometimes I want to be a singer, or sometimes I feel like I imagine myself singing to like a song, and I can like hit the high notes, and people just end up loving me. I have this thing where I do imagine like a lot of things. I think it's called maladaptive daydreaming, and it's kind of weird. I can like spend hours just being in my head, and thankfully I found like art. It did reduce the amount of time I imagined, because I have to like do shit. Like the imagination ends up in the page, so it's kind of like at least it's being used. But I swear to you, my brothers and sisters, I can spend like hours just fucking daydreaming, and it's kind of a good thing if you're like an artist, because I have like so many stories in my mind, and I feel like if I have like more skills, I think I'll have like an even better time, just because I can like express it. But if you don't have anything to express your ideas, or that kind of extreme imagination, you're going to just be stuck living in that world, and that can be fucking scary. I used to spend like, I think back in college, it was bad. Like I would spend like hours, and I think I had like an addiction to Facebook as well. Like I couldn't stop just scrolling from the feed, or scrolling in the feed. And Jesus, thankfully I kind of had a bit of a change during my college years. It happened during my second semester. my second year, second semester, I kind of had this change in my life, and I started doing the whole self-development thing. And not like, like the cringy kind of shit stuff or the basic stuff like believe in yourself. I mean, yeah, believe in yourself, but it's not just about that. It's about like developing habits, creating routines, developing schedules, knowing how or understanding how identity plays a role in your goals. Like if you believe you're a certain kind of person, you're going to act like that certain kind of person. So identities can be a good thing and a bad thing, right? So yeah, I did that kind of thing during my college years, and it did help. I was able to break from that cycle of just living in my head. I mean, I'm still kind of that way. I still imagine a lot, but I feel like I'm more normal, I guess, or well, maybe that's not a good word, but I'm more productive. Like I'm not depressed because I feel like I'm doing shit. Like that's also another thing about depression is that if you're not doing anything, you don't want to live so much in your head because that often happens, and it's kind of like a feedback thing, or it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like it ends up. Fuck, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, just do something. Get yourself out of that kind of space, because again, if you get too emotional or if you let emotions take over too much, emotions are powerful, man. They can make you do things. So you want to be the leader of that kind of thing, that kind of power, right? And yeah, be the master. Yes. Something is wrong here, but should I try to fix it? Nah, maybe a bit, because I'm procrastinating from the head. If I had like more experience or more, I'm kind of gaining experience anyway, but I feel like I need to paint more mechanical stuff so I can kind of implant some of those bits of details into my own creations, right? Am I right or am I right? Okay. Let's add a bit of look at how it becomes like vaguer in this area, and that's good. It looks like a painting, right? Even the way I approach this kind of arm in the other side, fucking awesome. Maybe I'll spend the last like 10 minutes using this using a more textured, a fine but textured brush, right? I think that would be the best option. And now come out, dun 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 dun, 'cause that make me crazy. I hope you're working on your own thing as well, 'cause now is the time, right? And do it for you. Try to don't do it for someone else. You know what? Fuck it. I'm not your daddy. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I mean, I have my opinions, but I feel like if you're more self-motivated, or not, that's not a, I'm using the wrong term maybe. You need to be self-directed, self-inspired, like you need to be able to lead your own life. You shouldn't need someone else to kind of push you. I mean, it helps maybe if you have like a loved one, if you have like a family. I think that would really help you, because you know what, that's also kind of influencing my work, because I want to be able to support my family at the same time as I'm kind of working on my own kind of thing, right? I want to kind of make both ends happy, and so that's why I'm kind of working extra hard, I guess. Especially I'm thinking about the business kind of side, just because I want to be able to support not just my current family, like my parents and my sis, right? But also my future wife, and oh, trust me, I will have a future wife. Mark my words, you bitch. I won't be forever alone. I have dreams too, bitch. So yeah, one day I will have my babe and a few more babies, and we're going to live happily ever after. Hopefully. If we're not in some kind of internment camp, we're forced to do things. Anyway, Oni-chan, yeah. So, we're at 50 minutes, so I think I should go for that. Fine texture brush. Right? Make the brush slightly smaller. You know what, if you asked me if I were able to right now this painting doesn't feel like anything, but I know that if I showed this painting to me maybe a few months ago or maybe a year ago, I wouldn't believe that I would be able to do this sort of thing. Or maybe that's not the right way to say it, because I was already kind of developing, like I was already kind of being ballsy and confident. Like I have like decent self-esteem. It's not super good, but it's there. Like sometimes I can be a bit of a dick, but you know, it helps having that that bro mentality. Bro, I can do it, bro. Trust me, bro. But yeah, I'm kind of happy that if I show this to myself, I would be surprised that I would be able to do this sort of thing. And yeah, so you're always kind of ahead in terms of your like your ideals always become higher. Like they always reach a higher level, and you're always playing catch up, and it's kind of awesome, but you shouldn't. It can be dangerous because sometimes you can be so. It can lead to depression. Like sometimes you may not feel like you always feel kind of behind, but I think with a bit of self-awareness or just being a bit aware that you're actually making progress and shit like that, you'll feel a lot less sad. So now I'm treating the brush as more of a color pencil. Well, I'm shading it like an actual like pencil, right? So and you can tell we're a bit too zoomed in because it's starting to get blurry. Obviously you could start or work on a painting that has like a bigger size, but you know, what's the size of this image? Control Alt I. It's 2484 by 1080. Okay, it's not too big. It's fucking awesome, bro. Right? So after this, I'll be doing like the speed painting. Oh shit, it's 53 minutes. Maybe in the last 5 minutes just to be... Oh, look at that change. It's a bit more refined. Am I right? Or am I right? Oh, we'll make the eye kind of bigger because I feel like it became a bit small. Let's extend that a bit. Really show off that the center of the eye that's a bit bright. Right? Am I right? Hot pink over here. There you go. Hotter. There you go. I also feel like you should learn how to deal with the honeymoon phase. With the honeymoon phase. It's essentially where you get too excited or where you're excited about a certain thing just because you're kind of just starting out. And it happens. Sometimes I feel it with my painting and shit, where I feel excited in the beginning, but over time I'm kind of like, ugh. But I think it's important to remind yourself why you started it in the first place, or like you need to be able to not depend on that kind of emotion always, you know? There needs to be something deeper. It's not, is it emotion where you have like a deep connection to it despite feeling meh, you know? And maybe that's how relationships like with actual people work too. Where it's you know, it's not always about that high kind of feeling. It happens from time to time, but I'm pretty sure. But there has to be that something that really drives it, right? That make you go crazy. Crazy. I forgot the lyrics. Anyway. Oh, I'm actually sitting in a cross leg position and I feel like my legs are asleep now. Ugh, fuck. I have a habit of sitting too long in the toilet seat, and it's usually my left leg that kind of falls asleep first, and it kind of takes me a while to be able to walk. Ugh, fuck. Oh. I feel like an old man. Ugh. Maybe we should define this more. Oh shit, we're at 56 minutes. Maybe the last 3 minutes. Procrastination. Fuck. You know what? Let's do it now. You spin my head right around when you go down, when you go down. Right? Make a new layer, and we'll use this guy. And we'll pick a lighter value here and just kind of... Shit. If I spend more time on this painting, it would look like a fucking masterpiece. Like, I don't know, maybe a Da Vinci level or Michelangelo kind of level. But of course, I don't want to do that because I don't want to get too much attention. See, that's me being overconfident again, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. A bit of self-esteem, right? Make it lighter. Oh, let's kind of bring the pinks to the outside a bit, or this kind of... I don't know, maybe that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea! Nobody move a muscle. Run faster. Oh, that's not what he said. Must go faster. And then the T-Rex starts chasing them. Must go faster. Right. Daddy. Oh. I'm actually afraid to have like a girl, like a kid. A baby girl, because maybe she'll start calling me daddy. I mean, that's a good thing, but what if she's like 18 and she actually has another daddy now, and I'm like, fuck. What if one day I accidentally kind of read her messages, cause reasons, and I see her calling someone else daddy, like not in a kind of actual daddy, but in like a dirty kind of way. I'll be like so broken. Oh no. She's no longer my baby. I need to... But that future is kind of a bit too far from now. Or I still have to work on my income streams, be able to support, find a way to support my family first. My immediate family first before fucking around, right? Before laying the seed of life. But I'm excited though. It's that thinking of that future also excites me a bit, even though we're again heading to that kind of, well, not heading, but sometimes it can feel like we're heading to a dystopian kind of world. But that doesn't mean it will come true. Seeing the future or the possibility of me having like a family is kind of motivating, and I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old. oh shit, maybe it's me getting old. And maybe it's that paternal kind of, am I saying it right? Paternal? Is that daddy instinct in me that's becoming a bit too prominent, you know? And, you know, sometimes I like taking charge of things, you know, like whenever I become like, sometimes I feel kind of bossy, and I feel like that's me being a bit of a, like the dad in me is coming out. Okay, right? It does help a bit, although I did most of it in the beginning, but I can push it further. I want some of these blues, and I want to bring it to the chest, if I may. Oh, it's a bit too boring. Let's make it lighter, if I may. Or maybe we'll use the, we'll pick out the green, this kind of cyan thing, and then go there. So you don't have to be careful to not overdo it as well, because it's very tempting. It looks cool when you do it, but again, don't overdo it, bro. And use the pen pressure with it, so you can kind of get that effect of like it breaking off and shit. I also want something for the pinks here. Am I right or am I right? I feel like I'm overdoing it, but you don't own me. Right? Just a bit. Whoa! Strong. Right? It's not too bad of a painting. Yeah, I'll have to make this my... Is this my cover photo for the art station? I feel like it's not, so maybe I'll make this the cover photo. Oh shit, I'm a fucking pro. Step aside. Daddy's home. One day. But today's not that day. Let me do this. Oh, it's a bit too... Again, I shouldn't overdo it. Be careful. Don't overdo it. Maybe not... We shouldn't make it too like light. Just a bit of... the edge. Just a rough kind of indication of it. Right? Maybe it's a bit too... There you go. Just... It's hard to see it, but... I think it helps. Maybe even in the green part, will it help? It's a bit rough, but I think it's I don't even know. Oh shit, we're at 1 hour. We're past 1 hour. So I think we'll stop here. Oh, look at that. So let's just do an overview of our progress, right? So we'll have to minimize this, lock it as well, and we'll just scroll through our layers here. Should it be like this? So I did start out with this. I went for the head first. And then I did extend the canvas a bit, so because it felt kind of short, and I felt like going for a cinematic. This one is a bit beyond a cinematic, because I feel like, yeah, it's still cinematic, I guess. And then I did add like a gun. I wanted to develop the arms a bit more, and I did make the head smaller because I feel like the head was too big. So yeah. And then I did fix the background a bit, and I did use the smudge tool a lot to kind of pull pixels from one side to another to kind of help with the blending. It's it's a strong and nice way of just designing as well. And then from there I wanted to darken up these two things, this top thing and this bottom thing, to kind of match this kind of gun. And I did kind of lasso this other area as well, this kind of lower part, because I felt like this chin thing was a bit too short. So yeah, and I did make the head even smaller. Added some highlights to some areas. Defined the arm here. Made a longer gun for the other kind of thing. And then defined the chest a bit. I wanted to kind of work on this thing. I wasn't sure about the design. Because I was kind of designing and painting at the same time. And then I erased something or painted over something in the shoulder area. And then I think I did spend time blending some areas with a mixer brush. And then I went for this thing where I worked on the armor some more on day 3. This is where I actually started recording. So you can see part 1 of the this thing. Define the body a bit more. Oh, I did use some color dodge, I believe, soft brush, to kind of just make it a bit more lighter and make it pop. I did use a flat brush, I believe, to kind of darken up some areas, and to kind of help blending, or help kind of blend things, especially in this area, right? And also in this area. I was trying to figure out like the arm design here, and did that. So part 2 would be this. This is part 2. This is where I kind of figured out that the chest was kind of off. So I did that change with the lasso tool, painted over everything again, and I think I defined the gun here a bit more. Pushed this back of the neck further back with a flat brush, I believe. The same one I used for this area and this area. And then I did lighten up this area with a scribble texture brush. And then I defined things a bit more. Right? And then now we have this where we focused even more on the 10% or the 20%. That's really the focal point of the whole thing. And you'll notice it's a bit more refined, it's a bit tighter, right? So there's this nice kind of focusing. It makes your eye go to this area immediately. So I did spend time defining the chest a bit, but I wanted to render the face a bit more, or just clean things up. And thankfully, the head was already pretty much defined a few stages back, so it was more about just fixing things up and refining things, especially like the edges a bit. And I also did kind of refine the chest a bit more. And then I added this special kind of highlight thingy. Right? So I think we can stop there. You know what? Maybe I'll add like another thing just to be safe. Or I have this brush where it has a slight texture to it, a canvas kind of texture. And I think it does help to kind of just make it a bit more like interesting or more painterly, I guess. Now you shouldn't overdo it, but it does make it look more. It adds a bit more grit, I guess, and I do like the way it looks, right? Although you can make the brush smaller just to be a bit more specific, right? See that? And just pick the right value so it won't totally stand out, but it can suggest some kind of grit and make yeah. See that? It just adds a bit more. You can do it for the background as well, just add a bit of something in it. Right? This is my own kind of personal kind of taste. Sometimes I overdo it, but sometimes I don't, so yeah. Bit of cyan here. Oh, I like the blues here. It's kind of like a purple blue. There you go. There you go. A bit. It's hard to see, but fuck it. Maybe you can decrease the opacity a bit to like, I don't know, 50% is fine. Can you still see it? Oh, it feels weak. 75. Maybe I'll just erase some parts of it. Here. I'll add more. I want this here a bit. Okay, I think we're done here. Let me lock it, or minimize everything here. Okay. There you go. I think for the final thing, I'll hit Control A to kind of select the entire canvas. Control Shift C to copy everything within that selection, and then I'll hit Control V to paste on a new layer. It kind of becomes a layer automatically. So now we have a flattened version of the whole thing. So what I'll try to do is hit Control J, duplicate that, and then I'm going to try and hit the noise, just one, and we'll see the changes here. It's hard to see, but it's there. I'll hit Control J again, and then I'll try sharpening it to see if it looks good. Not too bad, right? I do like seeing a bit of noise in my work. Not too much, because, yeah. It looks a bit sharper, I guess. The reason why I put the noise is because if I just hit sharpen, it sharpens like, yeah, like a lot of the edges, but if it's kind of too flat of an area, it's going to look shitty or not as compelling. But if I put noise, it's going to sharpen the noise texture a bit, so it's going to make everything look kind of gritty. So let's just see the change. It's not too bad. Okay, it's fine. This could be like a wallpaper, right? Damn, you buff, bro. You've been working out. Should it be like this or should it be like this? I feel like it should be like this. Oh yeah, the entire the thumbnails in the video are like this, so this would have to be the final thing. I mean, look at that, it's so pretty. Let me add my name just to make it official. It's officially by me. Let's add, oh, let's not make it too big. We'll make it like 30, I guess. 30. Can you still see it at this stage? Yeah, it's okay. Blending options. Shit. Control color overlay. I will pick a color. Not too obvious, but just nice, you know. It shouldn't take too much attention. Okay. Hit V to kind of move it. Alright, just a bit. There you go. I think it's still too small, but fuck it. Fuck it. It's good. Okay, we're done. Thank you so much for following. Hopefully you've been following this series or this mech kind of work thing. And I hope you're inspired to kind of do the same thing. And just try working on a painting hour by hour, day by day. And you don't have to finish everything at once, and just take the chill approach, right? And yeah, I hope you have fun. Keep painting, or shit, keep drawing, keep painting, and stay free.